Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are safe, you are well, and you are with people you care about who also care for you. If I'm feeling a little, if I'm appearing, as is the word, appearing a little happier today, it's because I am. I'm actually feeling pretty good today. Thursdays normally depress me because of all of the horrible stories I have to do in 10, but this week just felt different and I was ahead of myself and I did change the way I was doing prep for things, and my prep for 10 day was pretty good. If you read Dungeon Crawler Carl, you'll know the joke. My prep for 10 day. My prep for 10 day. That's in my head. I think that's kind of cool. Anyway. My chicken and garden update was very long and a little bit spicy from the neuro side of things, and I suspect that this is going to be the same. It's the last video that I need to record this week, and then Friday, this is a Thursday when I'm recording this, Friday is going to be my edit day and I don't have to talk to anybody. That always makes me happy. Anyway, thank you very much for last week's input on the Sunday Musing. I always love seeing how people think and what they think is going to change and what they think is going to happen. In regards to prices from last week's show, we're already seeing prices going up, so I guess that was kind of a moot point now. But today's video is a little bit different. Okay, so I was watching the excellent Robert Dunn from Aging Wheels this week. He's talking about his experiences with his Silverado EV, which he's now handing back. And I didn't finish watching the video, so I don't know if he actually lets you know what his new vehicle is going to be, but I know what his new vehicle is going to be and I'm kind of jealous. And said new vehicle did play like a half-second cameo in that new video. I don't think I'm letting anything out other than going, what is that? Oh, that was kind of the way I thought about it. But he was talking about how his Silverado EV's 12-volt battery died. Not really unusual if you're an EV fan and you've owned EVs for a long time. EV batteries, the 12-volt batteries, the traction batteries last forever. But the 12-volt batteries do have a habit of going a bit Pete-tong pretty quick. And well, that's what happened to him, and I've been thinking about my EV experiences and the fact that in the time I've lived in the US, I think we had two 12-volt batteries in our Leaf. I think we had to replace the 12-volt battery in Artemis, my Bolt. Kate's Bolt is on its second battery. That one's slightly different because we replaced it and put a different battery in as part of a review. My F-150 Lightning is on its third battery. So the original battery from the factory. Then we had the battery that didn't last very long and has now gone to the recycling place in the sky. I found a recycler who was happy to take it, the Knackle battery. And I wouldn't recommend anybody put that battery in their truck. We're back to a standard lead acid in this one now, and that battery is already starting to show signs of not being very well after 1 year. So we've made videos on the channel. In fact, there's some pretty old videos on the main channel about why this happens. You know, lead acid batteries are designed for internal combustion engine cars. They're designed to crank the engine over, and EVs never produce the kind of high current required for an EV battery to kind of properly get a workout. And so we often end up with stories of these 12-volt batteries undergoing premature sulfation. If it's lead acid, they never get the high currents that would help shake off any of that the sulfides off the anode and the cathode. Can't remember which way it goes. Chemistry was not my strong point at school. I didn't take chemistry, I took physics. And then that's why those batteries die, because they don't get cycled in the way that encourages all of the build-up to break off of the plates when you start and stop the vehicle. And so EV batteries do get a different type of cycle. They do tend to die quite early on, but I'm curious how your EV's battery has lasted. Do you have a good relationship with your car's 12-volt battery if you have an EV? How long has it lasted? If you've had to replace it, how many times have you had to replace it? Have you noticed any weird behavior? How do you know your 12-volt battery is going to die? Like, I know how I know when the 12-volt battery is going to die, and that's the car starts putting weird error messages everywhere and starts being a complete and utter you-know-what. But I also know that it can sometimes cause other problems later on in the system, and obviously replacing 12-volt batteries is now not just a case of putting a new battery in. You have to reset the battery management system. In the F-150 Lightning, for example, there's a special key combination when you turn the truck on, the way you turn it on and turn it off and flash the lights and do a do-si-do and all of that good stuff. And then it goes, oh, you just replaced the battery. Good job. I'll start again. You can also do it using 4scan and other diagnostic tools. But if you don't do that, you can kill a battery pretty darned quickly, as I discovered to my detriment. So tell me, how long does your 12-volt battery last in your EV? How long has it lasted? How often do you normally find, if you're an established EV owner, how long have you had to go between replacing batteries? And look, yes, okay, I know if you are a Tesla owner, you can go, no, my car doesn't have a 12-volt battery, if that's your case. I know some Teslas do and some didn't. I'm not particularly intimately aware of which ones do and which ones don't, but I know it was a problem. And I also know if you're a Rivian owner, depending on which model of Rivian R1T you have, or R1S, some of the early Rivian R1Ts literally had like these little 12-volt leisure batteries that you could just carry in one hand, and they had two of them. I know this because I had a friend who had one, and his battery died. When he went to the airport, I think I've told you this story before, the battery was low when he pulled up, and there was no open charging station at Portland International Airport, and unfortunately it's a common problem, and it's always Tesla drivers. I'm sorry, Tesla drivers. People park Teslas at Portland International Airport at the charging stations, never plug them in, and then other people can't plug in and charge. And that's exactly what happened to this friend. He was coming from a long way away. His traction battery was nearly empty. His traction battery ran completely flat, and then the telematics on his Rivian ran the 12-volt batteries flat. And I had to try and go and help him and jumpstart it. We couldn't get into the vehicle to jumpstart it to help him get home. It was an incredible rigmarole, and he ended up having to pay, I think, over $1,000 to get Rivian to replace these two 12-volt batteries after he'd factored in diagnostics and everything else. So how do you know when your 12-volt battery is on the fritz? Has it gone on the fritz? Has it broken? Have you replaced it? How frequently do you replace it? All of those good questions. Let me know in the down below. As usual, thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are some of the people who make this channel possible, and I really, really, really appreciate every single one of you. I know we've not updated our list in a while. We are trying to work on automating it. The tools we used to use to automate it no longer work. Erin has been trying to work on a new automated tool, but it's complicated and difficult, and there's now only 3 of us at Transport Evolved. As you might know, as I hope you know if you watch this channel, Kate is leaving us. She's leaving officially on Tuesday next week, so join us for the live stream where we say goodbye. She's leaving off to greener pastures. She's already established a cool publishing house, and she's going to focus on that as her main job. And I'm so freaking proud of her. I'm going to miss her dearly. But anyway, if you still want to see me on camera, if you don't want to see me on camera, I fully understand if you want to stop supporting Transport Evolved because Kate's not on the channel anymore. I'm expecting tons of people to do that, actually. If you want to watch and you want to support myself and Erin and Vi and us, 3 of us, to still make content, please join us on Patreon from $1.50 a month. I've got myself in a tizzy. Thank you for being the positive change that we need to see in the world, and as always, keep evolving.